He did link up well there with young Phil Foden, who, as I said, is just looking like the player we know he is, with the second half of this season to come in great form.
So 9 straight wins for City and 5 on the bounce in the Premier League. They move above Arsenal and 2 points off leaders Liverpool at the top of the table, with a game in hand as well. Let's welcome in Mario Melchiot. It's been a good weekend for Man City, considering this win and the result yesterday as well.
Yeah, this was another statement from them, really. Yeah, it was Brentford, and they haven't had the best of seasons this year. But normally at home, they're a threat, and they were at times. But as I said, it was another putting the foot down, showing who's boss. Yeah, I mean, that goal was a crazy goal to give away from a goal kick. You can't be offside, and they utilised it well. And maybe they worked on it. I don't know, but certainly Guardiola will be asking, how can Mopé get that amount of space, and how can none of my 2 centre-halves, even though Ivan Toney comes in and sort of blocks Ake, how can nobody be stronger and attack it? But apart from that, some of the play, again, from City was outstanding. I mentioned it in the highlights. Flecken made save after save after save. I think it was a record for 45 minutes in the Premier League. And they just, City that is, just completely dominated the game again. And Phil Foden, he's a star, isn't he? I mean, we knew that anyway, but he is just oozing with confidence at the moment.
I mean, one of the things that you say about City, and while they dominate games, and yes, Flecken was simply outstanding, you couldn't help but wonder, even though it's early on, is this going to be one of those days for Manchester City? But as I say, even though they possess the ball the way that they do, there never ever seems to be a sense of panic about who they are and how they're going to break down the opposition. So you felt it was only a matter of time. And this is the time of the season when great teams really start to turn it on. We could talk about United back in the days, City in seasons gone by. This is when they seem to be at their best. And while we've been rightly critical of City for a number of reasons earlier on, now all of a sudden they're churning out results. Kevin De Bruyne sees about 90 minutes. Haaland sees significant minutes as well. The only concern, and which Pep got addressed after the game, is that they're still not able to keep clean sheets. But if you're able to produce kind of controlled performances as you do today, there's not an awful lot to panic, but thin margins when it comes to City and their expectations. Yeah,
like the guys were saying, Mario, Phil Foden, it's nothing new to us, but he's a bit special, isn't he?
No, definitely. You know, watching the game today, the way his first goal already said a lot about his confidence. You know, when he controlled the ball in his chest, and then, okay, he put it through his legs, but just the way he was, how calm he did that. And they had a goal. He came out after the game, he second goal with his head. So saying that, they asked him a couple of questions also about the national team. What position do you want to play? Look, I'm playing in the middle now, and that's the position where I want to play. But I also have to understand that sometimes at City, I might not always play in my favorite position. So sometimes I got to move out to the left or the right. And he said that the national team is a similarity. So for him now, what he's working on is hoping that he can get in that position where he feels comfortable and is behind the striker, like a kind of number 10 kind of role. In England, it's difficult with Bellingham, of course, but he won't be. Either they play 2 of them, but that will be the tricky part with Rice behind them. So that's why for him, being that comfortable and in the sense of like talking about it and thinking about it says a lot about where he is now. And I like the way he plays. He feels good. He said, at this moment, I feel the most confident that I've been playing for City.